Big business. What do we know how to do? Gordy asked Max. Nothing, Max answered. They were resting on Max's front steps after cleaning up Mrs. Malone's kitchen. Max was trying to figure out where he had gone wrong and where Anthony Baker had gone right. Maybe Anthony had an older stove or a better recipe. We better think of something fast, said Gordy. Vacation is over in 2 weeks. Max sighed deeply. Then he shut his eyes and tried to think of something he knew how to do. Something he knew about. He knew about garage sales. One of his favorite things to do was buy lots of great junk at Mrs. Filbert's garage sales. Mrs. Filbert was Max's neighbor. Max and Gordy could have a garage sale. The problem was, Max didn't have a garage. Neither did Gordy. The door swung open and out came Mrs. Malone with 2 glasses of lemonade. Here, boys, I think you can use this. Hey, thanks, said Max and Gordy, taking the glasses from her. They gulped down their drinks. Boy, this lemonade hits the spot, said Gordy. Lemonade, shouted Max, jumping into his feet. That's it. We'll make our millions in lemonade. Are you kidding? We tried to sell that stuff lots of times. Rosalie drank most of it. She charged it and never paid us back. We never made a penny. We didn't make a single penny. We weren't running a real business before, said Max. We were just fooling around. Besides, do you have any better ideas? No, answered Gordy. Then we'll sell lemonade, said Max. It's easy to make, and it's cheap. He could just picture it. First, they would sell lemonade from a stand. And when they became real successful, they would go on to big business. They would sell frozen lemonade in a supermarket, or fresh in cartons. The next day, Max and Gordy set up their lemonade stand in the park. Max had a pitcher filled with lemonade made from fresh lemons. He had added sugar little by little until he got it to taste just right. He topped it all off with ice cubes. Gordy brought a small folding table, 2 chairs, and paper cups. They hung a sign from the table. It read, Lemonade, 25 cents. Business should be real good, said Max. It's going to be a hot day. They sat down at the table. They tried to look very businesslike while they waited for their first customer. Soon their first customer was walking toward them. It was Rosalie. I'd like to try some of your lemonade, she said. That'll be 25 cents, said Max. Charge it, said Rosalie. Cash only, said Max. Rosalie hesitated for a moment. Then she dug into her pocket and came up with a quarter. She plunked it down on the table. Max and Gordy exchanged smiles. They were proud of how businesslike they were acting. Max poured some lemonade into a cup and watched her drink it. Just as I thought, she said. It isn't sweet enough. She turned to leave. Maybe I'll bring you some more sugar later. What Max and Gordy needed were more customers. At this rate, Max's mother would be selling memo pads forever. This park is so empty today, said Max. Probably because of the heat, said Gordy. I sure am thirsty, said Max. Me too, said Gordy. I've been thinking, maybe we should taste the lemonade again, to see if Rosalie is right about the sugar. Good idea, said Gordy. We don't want to sell sour lemonade. Each poured himself a cup and drank it down in one gulp. Sweet enough for me, said Max. Plenty sweet. Let's try a little bit more, just to be sure. After the second cup, they waited for more customers. The sun was beating down on them. The ice cubes were beginning to melt. They poured themselves some more lemonade. It's only right that we taste it again, said Max, to see if the melted ice cubes affect the flavor. They drank the lemonade and decided it was still sweet enough. Then they waited some more. Finally, 3 small boys, followed by their mother, ran into the park. At last, said Max. This is it, said Gordy. Hey, lemonade, the oldest boy shouted. Yay, lemonade, shouted the younger ones. All 3 ran toward Max and Gordy. An easy 75 cents, said Max. Maybe even $1, said Gordy, when he saw the mother coming after her sons. We want lemonade, the boys told their mother. Not now, she said, but we're thirsty. We don't know what's in it, she whispered as she led them away. Max and Gordy were angry and insulted. What does she think is in here anyway? Asked Max. Yeah, said Gordy. Poison? They poured themselves some more lemonade and drank it. They wanted the mother to see them drinking it, so she would see that it wasn't poisoned. Besides, if they were thirsty and hot, the ice cubes had melted completely. This tastes like sour water, said Max. Yeah, said Gordy. Warm, sour water. It's definitely not quality. It needs more sugar, said Max. By the time Rosalie came back with some sugar, Max and Gordy were ready to leave. How's business? Asked Rosalie. Slow, said Max. Too bad, said Rosalie. Austin is making a fortune. Austin is selling lemonade? Asked Max. Yes, two kinds. One made with sugar and one with sweet and low. Remember when we saw those men chopping up that sidewalk on Friday? She began adding sugar to the lemonade. Yeah, said Max, in front of the post office. Well, today they're pouring cement for the new sidewalk, and that's where Austin is. She sat down at the table and little by little drank the rest of the lemonade. They took apart the stand and dropped everything off at Max's house. Then they hurried over to the post office. Sure enough, there was Austin selling lemonade to 3 construction workers who were standing in line. 2 ladies coming out of the post office stood behind them to buy lemonade from that cute little boy. Max and Gordy exchanged angry glances. This was definitely not fair. Making $1 million was Max's idea, not Austin's. Hi, guys, Austin called when his customers left. Want a drink? We're not thirsty, said Max. He could still taste the warm lemonade, which was starting to rise up to his throat. He probably wouldn't touch the stuff for the rest of the summer. How's business? Asked Max. He knew the answer even before Austin gave it. It's great. I figured I'd get some practice on my own before I'm old enough to join up with you. He poured himself a cup of water and drank it down. What's the matter, Austin? Asked Gordy. Don't you trust your lemonade? I don't want to drink up all my profits, Austin answered. When I'm thirsty, I drink the water, and I sell the lemonade. Max watched the people walking in and out of the post office. He watched the construction workers wiping sweat off their faces. So many people. So many thirsty people. Why hadn't he thought to come here? You picked a pretty good spot to set up your stand, said Max. He hated to admit it, but it was true. Yeah, said Austin. I knew these men would be here today. I knew they'd be thirsty. You just got to be in the right place at the right time. You've got to know your market. Too bad, know your customers. Too bad they won't be here tomorrow. I'll have to figure something else to do. Max watched Austin empty the cup of money into his pockets. He could see the quarters, nickels, and dimes pouring out of the cup. He even saw a dollar bill. Boy, making $1 million sure is fun, said Austin. I can't wait till tomorrow.